Hey y'all, how y'all doing? It is your girl Shalisco signing in for another video. What's up? What's up, y'all? We are growing. We are growing. Do you not see it? Do you not perceive it? Hey, you guys, this is amazing. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support, the interactions on all my other social media platforms. If you don't already know, I do, some giveaways from time to time, and we're going to have a giveaway at the end of this month because we're approaching our 4-year anniversary. It is Sholisco on Twitter and on Instagram. Prayerfully, we'll have a TikTok very soon, so, be on the lookout for that. But honestly, thank you guys so much. God, I thank you. Jesus, I thank you. Honestly, you guys, I'm so overjoyed. I'm so overjoyed. Literally, sky is not even the limit anymore. The sky is not even the limit. We're trying to break past this universe. That's what it looks like. Honestly, thank you guys so very much. As you guys know, we started with a new 3-part series last week where we're going to be discussing how pretty privilege intersects with the patriarchy. Now, last week we talked about pretty privilege. We talked about how we see the movies and TV shows, how it reflects in our day-to-day lives, and essentially if it's really a privilege. And now today we're going to be discussing the patriarchy. When it comes to the patriarchy, it is very important that we sit down and critically analyze how this system of old has impacted the way that we see the world and how everything in the world is essentially aligned in a specific kind of way. Can we say it's wrong? Can we say it's right? And how do we move forward in the future so we can truly understand if the system is still needed in our lives? Today, we're going to be discussing patriarchy at length by going ahead to define what patriarchy really is, how it's impacted our mentalities in the past, and how we think about things to this very day, how it's seen in movies, TV shows, and in social media. And lastly, how does the patriarchy impact men, whether positively or negatively? Let us first define what the patriarchy is. The patriarchy is essentially a system of society in which men hold largely the power, whilst women are essentially excluded from it. It is said that the patriarchy started about 10,000 years ago, and we can see this being reflected all over the world, from the Roman Empire to the Zhao Kingdom in China, going to the Benin Kingdom in Nigeria, and to our trusty colonizers, the British Empire. In the patriarchy, we see about 4 different characteristics, but they're quite similar to each other: male dominance, male-centeredness, male-identified, and obsession with control. The impact of the patriarchy that we can pinpoint to, but can also be reflected in many different ways, is gender inequality. The patriarchy allows for gender inequality to manifest in such a way where we see huge differences in income, employment opportunities, and education between men and women. Although work has been done in order to sort out these issues between men and women, we still see that there are still huge discrepancies between women being paid the same amount as men in the same positions in work, and also how men are still put in positions of leadership and power in the workplace. Gender-based violence is quite normal in our society, as it also correlates with male dominance and control over women. And this is why we still see domestic violence still being a huge issue in our society. Reproductive rights is still a conversation that we're having in our society constantly, as women are not still given full autonomy over their bodies. It could go as far as these women going ahead to explain themselves in front of a court and a judge, and possibly being imprisoned for it. When it comes to the conversation of stereotypes and objectification, we can say that social media, movies, and TV shows continuously push the perpetuation of gender stereotypes and the objectification of women.
So I made a video on how the patriarchy is bad for everyone. And whenever I do that, obviously a bunch of dudes are going to show up and be like, there is no patriarchy, or my life sucks, how am I benefiting, or whatever. I usually ignore these comments because my videos are very thorough. So if somebody wants to understand a concept I'm talking about, it's not difficult to do so. The only time people have a hard time with my videos is if they don't want to get it. And I can give you the information, but I cannot understand it for you. But somebody tagged me and actually asked me to break down this comment that somebody left on my IG. You can pause to read it. Here's the rest of it. You can pause to read. Just a bunch of shit to say that men's life sucks, so how is there a patriarchy? But real quick, I want you to think back to the last time that women were basically in charge of everything, where they set the policies and the rules, the social expectations, they controlled the money and all that kind of stuff. Think back to the last time that was the case. Was it any time ever? No? Okay, good. Now, think about the last time that men were largely in charge of everything. The government, the finances, social expectations. When was the last time that men were the leaders? Was it the whole time? Okay, good. This list is a result of that structure. Court proceedings put in place by men back in times when men were the only people who could practice the law. Toxic masculinity doesn't allow for asking for help. So a lot of men feel shamed and don't talk about stress or depression, leads to a lot of unaliving. For centuries, men would not allow women to work dangerous jobs, and even now, those jobs are hostile towards women. Mostly men do them, mostly men die from them. They also wouldn't allow women to go to war. Women had to sneak in to go to war. Men are more likely to be victims of homicide. Men are more likely to be victims of crime. Men are also more likely to commit all of those crimes. Like 72% of crimes done here in America are done by men. Men are the victims of other men. The FBI put that chart out on their website. Men discriminated in universities that are run by men. Men are going to jail longer in a court system and justice system that is run by men. Bro, you are mad at the same structure that women are trying to get rid of. This list is long, but if you're complaining about court policies, if you're complaining about social expectations, if you're complaining about crime, bro, you are complaining about the patriarchy. Because while you can say you're head of the household and your name gets passed down through generations, and while you can walk around late at night and not worry about getting kidnapped, or you can go to the club and not have to cover your drink, all of this is still a problem for you. So there's some privileges that you have, some shit that you don't gotta deal with because men are the ones in charge. But there's a shit ton of other stuff that you do gotta deal with for the exact same reason. So when women are saying, let's dismantle this whole shit, why are you fighting them?
Mentalities that we have seen risen in our patriarchal society is the sexualization on women as well as gender roles. For gender roles, we can say that women are essentially groomed to be baby makers and wives, constantly catering to somebody else, catering to a community of people whilst their needs are not essentially met. It seems as though their whole entire gratification in life comes from taking care of others. Whilst the men were seen to be providers, they were given the chance to have an identity outside of the family, and they could detach themselves from everything else and be their own person. Whilst women didn't really always have that luxury. Thanks to feminism, a lot has changed over the last couple decades as women are given the chance to live their own lives, have their own bank accounts, have their own identity outside of family. They can go ahead and chase a degree. They can go ahead and choose to have a family later. They now have more choice. I'm not saying that there still aren't, difficulties here and there, but we now have more choices than we had once before. A quick food for thought. Do you believe that feminism is a direct rebuttal to the patriarchy, or what will be used to fix the patriarchy? Some believe yes, while others believe no. Let me know what you think down below. Till this day, there are people who still believe in gender roles, that the woman's place is inside the kitchen, and she's essentially supposed to give up her life to take care of the family, whilst the husband is supposed to be the breadwinner, the main provider. And I can understand why certain people feel comfortable with this mode of thinking. However, we still need to dissect the fact that parts of it are very toxic. Like, if we go to the extreme ways of how gender roles were perpetuated in the past, it can cause huge rifts in our modern day society. Sexualization in our media is rather normalized, as men have gone ahead to show us that they can go ahead and sexualize women in many different ways, from music videos, movies, TV shows, ads, and even anime. In the last couple decades, we have seen women, especially from the music scene, go ahead and sexualize themselves and make a whole ton of money from it. From the likes of Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Foxy Brown, Lil Kim, and so forth. And you now see men revolt against this. And women as well, which does make sense, but I don't really understand why men have a problem with this. Like Frankenstein, why are you upset with the monster that you created that now has a mind of their own and would like to do what they want to do? That don't make no type of sense to me. Sexualization has been around for years, decades, centuries even, and it makes sense why women would now want to get behind it and control the conversation, control the way that they're being shown in media. However, just because men have been able to do it for so long, does that now mean us as women should now do it and do it even better? Is it just as empowering, or is it counterintuitive? I understand that when it comes to women going ahead to have sexual endeavors, they're still shamed for it, they're still disrespected and everything like that. And now women are like, you know what? I should be able to do whatever I want to do with my body. I can sleep with as many people as I want to, and I shouldn't be judged for it. But should we want to do the same thing as men? Should we want to continue that kind of rhetoric just because we now can? I don't know. But let me know what you think down below. With hobbies and jobs, I'm noticing that women are being ridiculed, disrespected, and treated in one specific way, whilst men are being praised for the exact same thing. Why is it that when a woman is in a position of power and is going ahead to set boundaries and explain certain things, all of a sudden she's seen as rude and mean, yet when a man does it, he is seen as strong and dominant and alpha? Like, why are y'all so uncomfortable with women in power? That's what I want to know. And then with hobbies, it's okay for a man to go ahead and explore many endeavors when it comes to his hobbies. But for a woman, she's seen as childish, she's seen as too girly, and she's quick to be ridiculed for it.
You don't like skinny girls because bone is for dog and meat is for man. The thick girls are complaining that they're just constantly being used for their bodies. People say you want traditional wives, but then you also complain that traditional wives don't want to go 50-50. People don't want to be with women that do want to go 50-50 because it makes you feel emasculated and you don't feel like a real man. You don't like your women to be too overeducated because they sound smarter than you. You don't like your women to be too undereducated because then they'll be too dumb to converse with you. You don't like your women funnier than you. You don't like your women too boring. You don't like your women too dressed up because then she's a prude. You don't like your women too dressed down because then she doesn't care about herself. You don't like women that date broke men because you need to love yourself. You don't like women that have standards that are too high because who do you think you are? You don't like girls that have a full face of makeup on. You don't like girls that don't wear any makeup on at all. You don't like girls in wigs. You don't like girls in braids. You don't like girls with their natural hair. There's a common denominator. I'm going to let you figure this one out. Now people are saying you're in your soft girl era because women said they were in their soft girl era. But the thing about women in their soft girl eras is that they're saying that they want provider men who take care of everything and let them not have to worry about anything and be in their feminine and provide nurture and love, which is what you people have told us is the woman's nature our entire lives. So if you are in your soft guy era, then what you want is also a provider man, Abby. Like, right? Again, there is a common denominator and there's an obvious description of what this is. I'm going to let you figure it out. Just because I know you won't, I'll tell you regardless. You don't actually know what you like. You just know that you've been conditioned to dislike everything that is feminine. So you don't actually have a type and you don't actually have a firm grasp on what masculinity is. You think that masculinity is opposition to the feminine. You think that to be a man is to dislike being a woman or to dislike women. I'm not even going to call you gay because I don't think the gays deserve that kind of insult. And I'm going to touch your hand when I say this one last thing. The way you fault women for having daddy issues is the same way you have daddy issues. And you have no idea what the proper concept of masculinity is because your daddy didn't teach you. And that's sad. And your dad didn't love your mommy well, so your mommy didn't love you well either. And that's also sad. What your problem is you have no idea what the masculine is because you didn't have a masculine. Everybody's suffering from it. We all have daddy issues. You and your group of guys that sit around and discuss who is wifey and who is not, and the women that you put on that table to dissect, all of you, all of us together collectively are suffering from not having a proper family unit because the people who had proper family units, they're fine. They're fine. They're not looking for, you know what they're doing is they're getting happily married. And the reason you didn't have a proper family unit is because everybody gave into capitalism too easy. But you are too obsessed with sucking the dick of capitalism. And every day you come on here and you make these videos and you talk about how to know when a guy likes you and how to know when a guy doesn't like you. And I take the time out and I watch every single one of these videos because I don't have anything else to do. And you are constantly contradicting yourself because again, and I still stand in my same exact statement, you have no idea what you actually like. All you know is what you don't like, and what you don't like is the feminine because you have no idea what you are like as a person. All that you know is that if it looks like what the girls are doing, it is bad. Why would I listen to you? The men that know what they want are getting what they want. They have what they want. They see it, they observe it, and then they take it. Anyway, look at these cute slides I bought. They are so adorable and they match my purse so well. Like, I am actually so obsessed. Look at that. You would think they came as a set. They did not.
It is quite peculiar on how we see the patriarchy being perpetuated in movies and TV shows, as the underlining theme here is belittlement. We see that even for movies and TV shows targeted towards younger children, we see younger girls wanting to try the same thing that younger guys are trying, and they're seen as less than. They're being disrespected for the choices that they choose to make, and they're told that you're not good enough, you can't do what a guy can do. All the way to movies and TV shows being shown to older women and men in society. We can say that around that age demographic, we see women in places of power and they're told that they can't go ahead and make certain choices for themselves. We can see that if they look a certain way, they're even disrespected even more based on the way they look. It's as if they can't be pretty and also have a brain as well. It's this never-ending cycle of being told they can't do certain things because they're a woman, they can't try certain things because they look a certain way, and they seem frail and fragile. And these influences don't always have to be the people around them in schools and in workplaces. It could even be their family telling them that, oh, you should be at home, you should be cooking, you should be cleaning, you shouldn't be out there running around playing, you shouldn't be going ahead to achieve these high goals and high dreams that you have. You should be at home, you should be sheltered, and you should be away from the outside world. Across the board, we see these women being pushed into identities that keep them subservient, dormant, boring, and stagnant in life. And then it makes me question, what exactly are you trying to show younger women or women in general in our society? At times, we do see a pivot, we do see a climax, we do see a change in the plot where women can try different things and women go ahead and do different things, and they can want things more than marriage, they can want things more than having a family, or they can have it all. And I love that kind of messaging because it shows that things are truly changing. It wasn't always like this in movies and TV shows where it shows the patriarchy. There used to be messaging where women should stay at home. Women should only want a family. They should only want to take care of others. But we can say that things have changed. Things are different. I'm not saying that everyone's going to have the same perception when it comes to these movies and TV shows in our society, but we can definitely say that there has been a change.
I'm about to Kensplain some of the themes explored by the Barbie movie, since a lot of people, especially men, clearly didn't understand what's going on with this. Of course, there are spoilers ahead. Despite how it might seem to those who can't think deeper, this movie is not about trashing men or putting women on a pedestal. It does that a little bit, but the real big idea of this movie is about gender, more specifically gender roles. First off, if you're a man and you think Ken is supposed to represent you and your experiences simply because he is also a man, or you're a woman who thinks that Barbie represents your experience as a woman because she too is a woman, then the point kinda went over your head. The film depicts unequal societies in the form of Barbie Land, which is a matriarchy, and the real world, which is a patriarchy. In Barbie Land, women hold all the power and Kens can't do anything about that. Their entire job is to be an accessory to Barbie. It is blatantly written on the promo poster that she is everything and he is just Ken. I also just want to point out that they were very intentional by saying she's everything instead of Barbie's everything, because in Barbie Land, women are everything and men are just Ken. Ironically, a great metaphor for this dynamic is actually The Wolf of Wall Street, where Barbie is like Jordan Belfort and Ken is like Naomi Lapaglia. Only in this case, Barbie doesn't want anything to do with the eye candy. And when Barbie and Ken get to the real world, the roles switch. Under patriarchal gender norms, Barbie finally feels what it's like to be an accessory to the other gender. And Ken finally feels like he's free to do whatever he wants. But in discovering that he's allowed to be more than an object that starves for Barbie's attention, Ken becomes a reactionary. His first thought is not to ask for equality, but to punish Barbie Land for mistreating all the Ken. A bit like how some real-world media outlets might claim to be feminist, but just like to do man-bashing so they can feel some power in the patriarchy. Ultimately, Ken's story arc is not about him coming to terms with Barbie not liking him, it's about him realizing that he's allowed to do more than what he's been told he's supposed to do his entire life. He is Kenough, even when he's not serving Barbie or chasing her attention. And where Ken realizes that he's allowed to be his own character, Barbie realizes that she doesn't want to be the main character. Similar to how men in the real world believe they are worthless if they don't chase money and success, the Barbies are told that they're worthless if they have things like flat feet. And God forbid you aren't perfect and your career choices turn you into weird Barbie. Barbie realizes that she would rather be a normal person and that it doesn't make her a weird Barbie if she doesn't want to take up the perfection she was designed to be. In summary, this movie's about these characters identifying and challenging the gender roles within their society and realizing that they are way more valid if they are who they want to be instead of being what they're told.
So to answer our question, does the patriarchy negatively affect men? Or does it even affect men at all? And the answer is yes. Yes, across the board. There's this inherent need through the patriarchy that men find their purpose through influence, money, and material things. And if they're not able to have any of those things, they have no purpose. There's something wrong with them, and it leads them to a state of loneliness and thinking less of themselves. You are essentially seen as less of a man if you're not able to have any of these things. But why is the idea of masculinity or the idea behind being a man being based on the things that you can have and not what is truly inside of you? You being defined as a man should be the things that you already have inside you, your morals, your values, who you are as a person, and not the things that you can acquire, because all these things are fickle at the end of the day. The patriarchy gives a warped perception to men across the board on who women really are, and it can also breed into misogyny, where men have inherent hate for women without even realizing it, and we can see this in every facet of life. With these things, men tend to now base their value and who they are on societal values. But we make society. We're the ones who come up with the rules and the regulations on how we should see ourselves, both within our own genders and outside to other people. And one theory that I have, I'm pretty sure it is known out there, but I love thinking about it, is how we in our own genders, in our own camps, go ahead and perpetuate a certain level or standard that we expect from our own gender. And based on the way that we socialize with people within our gender, on the standard that we have set, the other gender now takes it as some kind of rubric and can go over and beyond into insane standards that the other gender now has to perpetuate. For instance, for women, we tend to set the standard for them to be able to cook, to clean, to take care of a household and everything like that, to look nice, to smell nice, to be this figure, this doll that other people aspire to be like. And based on the way that we socialize with women who are like that, men now see that and now inherently take that same standard. But then it makes me question, do women have that standard based on the patriarchy, or do they have that standard inherently within themselves? Because the standard of a man being a provider is based on the patriarchy. The standard of men being dominant and being strong is based on the patriarchy. Are these standards just standards that we have for ourselves, or standards that are being perpetuated through the patriarchy that we've now taken on as standards within our own genders? That right there is, ooh! Excuse me for screaming. That is amazing. With the way that we've been able to dissect the patriarchy today, we need to continuously have ongoing conversation on how to dismantle the patriarchy, not just for women, but for men as well, as it impacts the way that we see ourselves, how we see the world, and how we see each other. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the question of the day is, what is one part of the patriarchy that you personally would love to dissect more? I would say beauty standards. You already know when it comes to beauty standards and the conversation of pretty privilege, all of that, I love dissecting it. I think it's warped and it's messed up, but at the same time, dissecting it and talking about it more and more and more honestly unveils new truths each and every time. Let me know what your answer is down below. All right, y'all. It is your girl, Shalisco, signing out of this video. Remember, God made you special and he loves you very much. And you can do anything you set your mind to with Christ, of course. All right, y'all. Peace. Okay, let's try that again. I didn't like that. That's corny. It's corny. I don't like that. For going ahead. from the top. Okay. Okay. Why did I sound like that, please? I'm not a mule. Like, come on, girl. Okay. Okay, no. Believe no. Let me know what you think about it now. All the way to our trusty colonizers, the British Kingdom. The British Empire! Ah! And lip gloss too. My lip can't be ashy, girl. Where my lip gloss? Okay, it was here the whole time and I couldn't even see it. Come on, we're getting to the video. Who I show? Who I show? Who I show? I don't know how to sing the whole song, but I know the song in my head. I just don't know the lyrics. Forgive me, I'm Nigerian Canadian. Forgive me. I'm sorry, let me stop. Actually, I need it now. I need it now, right now, right now. Why is it spicy? Let me stop, please. Shall I? I've been too much fun with these. Too much fun. Too much fun. Too much fun. I know. I'm on high energy. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me stop. Okay. See a difference in employment opportunities, education, and even income between men and Okay. That was good. That was good. That was good. Period. Period. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Bring it back.